You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire youth wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
Together we are
Road Break.
How's every single one of you today on Thursday? And it's time to talk about NXT UK, the only good show in the WWE. No, Smackdown is a little decent, but the best show in WWE. You know, like we got a pretty good show, and also like a hooked. It's going to be a hook for the, finally, we heard from like the champion Walter, the NXT champion is finally back, it seems. We got to see Jordan Devlin, so a pretty good, like, good things that are going to be coming up in the future. So NXT UK is going to even get better than what we've seen in these couple of weeks. So what did you think, Paul?
Oh, you said it perfectly. This week's episode, we saw some great action and everything, but it was really all the in-between segments, the aftermath of a lot of these matches that was the hook. And next week and the following weeks, well, especially next week, the match with Meiko Satomura, Kaylee Ray, and everything. But even more than that, you mentioned Walter, everything. This show is just going to keep getting better and better and better in the next couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. So, be with us. We're going to be talking about everything, every match, every move, everything here, family. But before we do that, and don't forget to help us out, like supporting the video of the NXT review. Adam Cole says to Karrion Kross, "You're just the guy that has my property." So, really great promo going back and forth. You're just, like, overrated. Like, you got the cool music, like the pyro, like the stuff, the girl. All I have to do is, like, they ring the bell, and I'm legit, baby. So, really cool stuff, like NXT TakeOver in your house is going to be shaping up to be, like, a pretty good pay-per-view, right, Paul?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The only thing, like we said, maybe a fatal five-way. Too many cooks in the kitchen, too many guys. I wish it was just Karrion Kross versus Adam Cole. But like we said, maybe they're really trying to fast-track Karrion Kross and Scarlett to the main roster. So it's just like, okay, maybe we'll just, boom. Because there's so many guys in that match. And like you said, it's not elimination. It's one pinfall to a victory. So who knows what's going to happen. But I'm looking forward to that. Probably Santos versus Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed. Also, Raquel Gonzalez with Amber Moon. Like a lot of good stuff. Also Cameron Grimes against LA Knight. So
yeah, exactly.
It's going to be pretty good. Also, like if you're talking about main roster, our thoughts about all the WWE releases tomorrow on SmackDown Live. Like everybody that's been released, Lana, Ruby Riott, Aleister Black, Braun Strowman, everybody. Like, I don't know if anybody's, like, sad about Braun Strowman. The guy can be a great actor. That's fine, Like, did we miss him? No, I don't think so. Like, he had his opportunity 2017, right? That's when we actually felt that, like, he could be the WWE champion, be the guy. That didn't turn out to be, like, a reality, but all of our thoughts. It's going to be tomorrow live. So please join, comment, and all of that. Don't forget to subscribe for the one that, like, haven't. We're Road Break. We just want to be, like, keep growing and keep delivering this great content for you guys. John Paul, tell me a little bit about this great match that opened, the show. Noam Dar against Ilya Dragunov. Pretty, I will say the fluency, really good in between. Pretty fluid between the two of them. A lot of strength, but also athleticism. This was very different than when the main event. These guys were a lot quicker, like strength, in the kicks. And then Ilya Dragunov didn't really turn out to be like, like this evil guy or like this guy that's all violent. Didn't turn out to be for me like that. Maybe just a bit. He was able to tame it down a little.
Yeah, I think it's finally, like we said, he's learning to harness that, like, when he loses it, when he gets hit in the back of the neck, he almost goes to like a primal rage, just like like a crazy person, and he's learning to like control that rage. And this match was good because, you had Noam Dar early on, it was kind of like, I would say, evenly matched up. And then you had Dragunov. He went into the ropes. He went to go do like the Tiger Feint kick and almost do the
Constantine special.
Yeah, the Constantine special. And then his leg gave out. So then that was the whole story. Oh, something's wrong with his leg. And you had Noam Dar going after that, doing the knee bar and everything. And even, there was a couple of times where he would be punching Dragunov in the back of the head. And you thought, oh, this is going to be the moment. He's going to snap or whatever. But no, it was really, he was just delivering the elbows, but it was nothing real crazy. It was just, yes. That would kind of turn the tide, turn the momentum and everything. But this match was really good. How you compared it to the main event, how like that was just two big men going at it, and this was more like athleticism, but also the strength and the wrestling technique and stuff. I actually enjoyed this match more than the main event.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. But I understand why, because of what we saw after the match in the main event, why that was the main event versus this. But This match was
This was
really
the
good.
moment for me. For me, this was the moment that like it seemed like he was gonna go unhinged one more time,
Mm-hmm.
But like thankfully, like you said, he's learning to like he's learning to deal with it, or he's learning to take advantage of that. Like you see, like the face of Noam Dar, and Noam Dar, like don't you think that like he's the MVP of like NXT UK? Every single week, he delivers great matches, great promos with the Supernova sessions. Like that guy is carrying like that brand, and he's going in disguise because nobody says that, but we will. He
Oh,
actually carries
he,
that
yeah,
brand.
and see, he even said it too. Obviously, he's heel, so of course he's going to say that. But I mean, he really is
Are
like
we heels? Yeah.
he really is the unsung hero of this brand. Like you said, he puts on great matches with everybody, whether he goes over or whether he puts somebody over. He's fantastic in this. He makes his opponent look even better, everything. And this was good. And I just love like the ending sequence too when he goes for the what I think the Nova roller, and he counters
Yes.
it
He
with the
counters it with
Moscow. What is it? The Moscow
the
something.
Tornado Moscow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he hits that, and I mean, that's a big finisher. 1, 2, 3,
He caught
and
him also, so like they
yeah.
made that look really good because like there wasn't. We didn't think it was gonna end that way, but like as both of them were like diving, he was diving for the one thing,
Mhm.
and then he has the tornado. He hits that, and like you said, one,
Yeah,
two,
they were
three.
both. Yeah, they were both going for their finisher because Noam Dar was going to hit the Nova roller that he calls it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
this
then
it was a great ending, and I actually wasn't sure who was going to win this. As I'm watching it, you think, okay, Dragunov probably maybe DQ or something, but this was really good because it was so evenly matched, and we say it every week. Noam Dar deserves gold. I mean, Dragunov to me, he should be the champ, but you got to do something with Noam Dar too.
something like Heritage Cup. Come on, people. At some point, also give him like the championship match because why? The promo work can take you there. The promo
Mm-hmm.
work that you can do with Noam Dar is
Well,
absolutely
the only thing with that is once you get that title off Walter, who's huge. Not only is he just tall, but he's massive and he's strong. A matchup Noam Dar versus Walter is not believable.
Oh
But
yeah,
if
no,
you
no, no,
put the title on even like a Dragunov or even like a Joe Coffey, Joe Coffey's not super tall. He's
it makes
jacked,
more
but he's
sense,
not
yeah.
tall.
But with
It's at
Walter,
least
there's
more
no measure
believable.
because it would
Yeah,
be Walter against the A Kid. So it's like,
yeah.
so we know. Or like Cassidy, you're going against Omega Impact, so but we don't know anything. That's fine. But like you said, in the end, Ilya Dragunov gets the win. He was really like, oh, he's like, I'm violent. He's like, I'm not the same man. So you see, like something was in the works for that. But before we talk, in a finish talking about Ilya Dragunov, Ilya Bakary. Eva Valkyrie. There you go. Not Ilya Valkyrie. Eva Valkyrie. Another promos from her. She's ready. She said that failure taught her that that actually fuels something in her. Like she has some like chip on her shoulder now. Like she tasted failure and she liked it because now she has a more reason to show what she's capable of. So like there you go. She's like the Valkyrie is ready to fly. All of that. Like the bird's ready to fly. So really good stuff. Did you like this?
Yeah, great. I always love these promos with her. I just love like the metaphors and the analogies and everything like they use. Like you said, oh, the bird is ready to fly. All this stuff. I mean, it's so good. Her character is so cool, and I always love like stuff like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. I'm a
Exactly.
fan of that,
None
and
of
this
the
kind of
Eagles, right? None
exactly.
of that, legal
Yeah.
script that
Eh,
bird's ready to fly.
eh,
No, no,
eh,
no, 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 not NFL. No.
Yeah,
No, no.
and this kind of gives me those same vibes and stuff like that stuff. So this is good, and you and I are both big fans of hers, and
Exactly. So she
she's
needs to come
eventually,
back.
yeah,
She needs to come back.
she's gonna be in the title picture sooner than later, and she's good. So I like this.
And we got a return that wasn't announced, but like we got to see Jordan Devlin come back, and she's talking to Sid Scala, and he says, "Hey, did you read my email?" No, so what email? So you see that like Sid Scala is like any other like assistant manager, in a daily work day, like they don't read emails. They're like, so it completely passed my head, But like you get to see that like he was asking for like a latest car, like the most fanciest car that you can get and everything to commit to NXT UK. So he's kind of trying to come back to this brand. So it's kind of like, hey, everybody wants to see you, wants to say hi to you. He's like, you know what? They're trash. Like they're just like
Yeah, and
peons.
I love it because he's like, I think he actually had the car because he's like, look outside, so maybe something to register the car from America, back to the UK or whatever,
He's
and
just
then
in
and then
NXT they gave me that. Yes.
yeah, and he's also said that he wants to sit down on the Supernova sessions because he has a
Yes.
lot to get off his chest. So that'll probably be the next Supernova sessions we see. And I love when Sid was like, "Oh, come to the PC. People want to see you." Blah blah blah. He's like, "PC. That's where people go to train and get better." He's like, "I'm the Iris Ace. I'm the finished product, so
Yes.
no. And then he leaves.
Yeah.
And then Sid's like, so.
That was great. That was great. Like so.
And
We'll
then
see.
I love when after that Nigel's like, well, Sid should maybe go read that email instead of fawning over him like a schoolgirl. I was like, that's badass.
But we'll see what happens with him. But it seems like he's actually going to stay in the UK, which is better. It's better for him because the Cruiserweight Championship at some point he can always come back. You said it. Like maybe at some point they're going to tease Worlds Collide. That's the perfect
to me,
state.
him that I mean, and we saw a little video package from him, later in the show. But to me, do Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Bate for the Heritage Cup.
Yeah. You want to talk about Tyler Bate? Let's do Tyler Bate then. You're desperate to talk about Tyler Bate. Let's talk about Tyler Bate because he didn't sin. Legit, like he's all, and the promos, like he's like, being with himself, learning the training by Goku, for example. Let's talk about the training. You need to like feel the chi of your opponent. He's like, you don't have to like hear like how he comes through the air, all of that. No, you gotta like feel. That's what he's doing. And then right here, he's actually with the Heritage Cup. So pretty much he's training with Kami-sama. I think that's what it is. And Mr. Popo. That's the guys that like he's training with. So really legit stuff. Like, what did you think about this promo? Because it's good. I like it. I like this new version of Tyler Bate.
Oh yeah, I mean this is good as I'm watching it. I thought it was somebody who's like has a bandana on, the nunchucks, like these Ninja Turtles or something. Yeah. I mean this is all jokes aside though, this is really cool. I like this, and I think this is something that you can really build off his character and stuff, and he's legit in the ring too and everything. I mean, I'm fine with this. They just got to give this guy a good opponent. And to me, how he's like so calm and he's just like it's like yourself, like your inner being and everything, to go against somebody who's super cocky and super arrogant like a Jordan Devlin. I think that is like a great matchup.
It will be a great matchup. So good stuff with like on both ends. So you see, but it's good to see Jordan Devlin coming back because, like you said, in NXT America, he could be easily lost. Because with Kushida, like they have a lot of like talent right there for him for that Cruiserweight Championship. So maybe later on, later and down the road, we can see that one more time. So now let's talk about Pretty Deadly, Sam Stoker and Lewis Howley. Like they were like had a championship match that wasn't that promoted. So you saw that like it's like whatever. It is nothing's gonna happen. No title switch. Jack Stars needed to find a friend, and he did in Nathan Frazier. So like that was to me a little unexpected, but good at the same time because we knew that like Jack Stars was going to take the pin. There was no way that they were going to lose the championship. Why? Because they didn't really promote this too much. So why did they think of this match? Because I think it did its job. It solidified Pretty Deadly, good stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. My only, I guess I'll get into like my maybe theory or question after it, but it was good. Jack Stars, like you said, he did a lot of the selling and everything. Nathan Frazier looked great in this match. He was taking out both guys of the team, and I'm like, like they're really pushing him. You can tell he's their future. He's already one of their top guys who they're really trying to protect. Really looked good, and of course it was then the tactics are Pretty Deadly that were able to get the win. Sam Stoker, he kind of like blocked the ref. He got pushed in the corner and was like covering the ref. Then Lewis Howley took out Frazier and everything.
He sent him to like he hit the ring post or something like one of the barricades. Yeah, he hit that. Yes.
Yeah, and then like I think that was kind of like the ending spot then, because then like when Frazier did like the moonsault to take out Howley and everything, but then like you said at the end, he was on the apron, he got thrown off, and then they hit the spilled milk on Jack Stars 1, 2, 3, and it was good. Obviously, like you said, champs weren't gonna lose here. Nathan Frazier still looked really good, still looked strong in this match. The only question I have is because you see, okay, Tyler Bate's the Heritage Cup champion. We see the people who are going to be going after Walter, in the main event here. And then it's like, what do you do with Frazier? Because he's not really going to go after Tyler Bate because that's babyface. There's no more cruiserweight title here. Is him and Jack Stars maybe going to be a tag team for a little bit?
Maybe like you said, like
or do you think this was just a one-off?
It's like I said, you call it like Tyler Bate is in that middle of being babyface, maybe heel. Maybe Nathan Frazier could be like a good first feud. Maybe. Or like you said, he's going to be, hey, just do tag for a bit. And then once we have some feuds that were cleared out, then okay, let's go to like, you get your opportunity. But we'll see. But like the one thing you said is very important. He looked really good against both of the champs. Rather than Jack Star, so I'm the weakest link, so but we'll see what happens. He has a lot of room yet, maybe another match with Noam Dar, or like you said, maybe in Tyler Bate, or maybe A-Kid, something like they can actually start like measuring right there, mixing these guys up because Tyler Bate's going to have competition. He's going to
Yeah.
need it. So we'll see what happens on that. So the next one, Paul, we got to see Flash Morgan Webster going against Jesus going to be Joseph Connors with Genie. This was okay. This was just like you said. These guys, like, they have a lot of talent. Every promotion, I think that like they have way too many guys. And I mean, it's understandable that they do that. Just for the other ones, they don't go to other promotions. But this one is just like a mini feud. Subculture against Genie and this guy. Did you like this? I mean, for me, okay. Nothing of any of excitement.
Yeah, I enjoyed this just mostly for the winner. We saw it was a pretty even matchup, and then eventually Flash Morgan Webster, he starts getting the advantage because they're really pushing subculture. Like we saw Mark Andrews got a win, I believe it was last week, and everything. And then you saw a little bit of interaction with Danny Luna and Ginny, in previous weeks and stuff. So like there is kind of like a little feud going on a little bit here, but this really to me kicked off the feud. Joseph Connors, they've been talking about he is a new like Hangman's Neckbreaker is his new finisher. They mentioned that during the match, so you thought, okay, why bring up a guy's finisher unless we're gonna see it, whatever. So like a little foreshadowing going on here. But eventually, Ginny, she grabbed the motorcycle helmet, and a good throw, good toss to Joseph Connors. He caught that helmet. The ref was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, sorry, And then when the ref took it, had his back turned, was going to, throw the helmet out. That's when Ginny knocked Morgan Webster off the ropes, which allowed Joseph Connors to hit his finisher, that Hangman's Neckbreaker for the win. So this is good because they cheated to get the win. What do we always say? When the heels lose, the feud's over. So the heels won here. This continues the feud. You saw Andrews and Danny Luna. They were on the rope screaming at him as the heels walked away. So, I mean, this was like a little, maybe 5-7 minute matches in between setting to the main event. But it got its point across. It's going to continue this mid-card feud, and that's fine. So I have no problem with it.
Yeah, no, this to me is very similar to what will be like the Regal Cutter. Yeah. So that's the only reason that I'm excited about it. Like it hooks like the same way. But we'll see. Like you said, like Webster, like Andrews, I don't know if they're going to keep going for the tag or they're going to start doing singles. Because even on commentary, Nigel said, hey, it's been a long time that like Morgan Webster actually was in a singles match. So he'll still remember, but we'll see. Like you said, this is a feud like to have in between the shows. That's fine. 2 weeks, 2 weeks with last week when we saw this. So next week's going to be Kaylee Ray against Meiko Satomura, another promo. Kind of like pretty similar to what we saw last week. So that's why we don't have a lot to say, but like just we're excited for we're really excited for what's going to be. Meiko Satomura needs to win.
Yeah, this is good. Like Kaylee Ray said, I wanted them to bring the best and face the best, and they did that with Meiko Satomura. And then you see like where she attacked her, everything, and like Meiko's like, I'm not going to forgive you, blah, blah, blah. I want to win the highest title in NXT UK. It's like, well, not to like make fun, but it's really the only title for the women in NXT. So you don't really have a choice. But I'm looking forward to this match. This is going to be great. And like we said, there's a lot of heels. Ginny, Isla Dawn, there's and a bunch of Nina Samuels. I'm not going to go through Amel. There's so many heels on this brand. So a babyface champion already has a lot of contenders lined up.
Oh yeah, it's exactly. And all these women deserve to have a title match. Why? Because it's a nice way.
And the way I would do it, I would have Meiko run through all these women, and then and maybe you even turn some other ones heel, turn Piper heel, whatever. Have her run through all these women, and then who's the last one standing? Eva Valkyrie. Boom. That's when you do that match. Switch the title. And, that's how you get somebody over.
Yeah, that's how you change your pipeline. You kind of go from like, you give the torch, give like the prestigious thing to the next one. And that's how you keep moving the line. And then you start getting another person ready for a championship. Really cool way to book this type of main event. That's how we go quick here. Like Joe Coffey against Rampage round 2. What are your thoughts about this? To me, it was way like it's like two tanks colliding. That's how it was. Now, so at times it's like really like paceful. So I'm gonna do like a shoulder tackle. Yeah, your shoulder may tackle me back. I mean, it's good. Like that's what I'm saying. It's a contrast in Ilya Dragunov and Noam Dar that everything is like quick. Okay, let's go with moves like counters. Let's try to do submissions. Here's like more like paceful, big moves that like take a long time to recuperate. Was it?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like you said, it was two tanks, two rhinoceroses, going at it. Whatever analogy you want to use,
Godzilla against Kong. There you go.
exactly.
Yeah.
It makes sense because these guys are beating the hell out of each other. Coffee had the injured hand, Rampage had the injured rib, so that's kind of what they were going for, going at each other and everything. And this was good. You saw. I think like Coffee, he was, jumping off the ropes and stuff, and that kind of caught him because they said like, hey, when a big man goes off the ropes, if he doesn't connect his move, he almost hurts himself on the way down because, they're not used to that. But,
the second one that he tried to do the lateral cross.
Yeah,
that's why
exactly.
he did that. Because in this one, in the first one, he actually connected because
Yes.
he went actually down, and everybody's like, whoa, what is he trying to do? But like, I agree with you. So like, at least he put on like a different move, so that's cool. You say big moves for big matches.
Exactly, and I like them when they fought on the outside and everything too. It was just because remember when Coffee got sent into the ring steps in their first matchup, and that really changed the tide. Our Rampage Brown tried to do the same thing, but Coffee countered, actually sent him into the ring steps and everything. So the matchup, it was changing the momentum. And this was, even at the end, it was still really anybody's game. Nobody really had the clear advantage, like, oh, who's going to win. The only thing I didn't like is Coffee was selling the hand, and then at the end when he does the Glasgow send off, he when he spears them, he almost pushes them like with his hand, almost, and he did it 2 times in a row, and he shoved them both with his hand, and apparently, oh yeah, my hand's fine to do the Glasgow send off and everything, but he hits that twice. Best for the bells, 1, 2, 3. He gets the big win over Rampage Brown. I didn't think actually he was going to win. I was surprised, and then I thought, man, I really don't know if I want to see Joe Coffey versus Walter again, because I guess we'll mention that now quick too, because they did have a promo with Walter, the same thing, oh, I'm the best, blah blah blah. Like he didn't say anything new. It was just already pre-recorded audio, which we've heard from the champ before. But the main thing,
it's from the Zoom calls, yeah,
exactly. But the main thing is he's going to be back next week, so our prayers are finally answered. We're going to have the champ back. But, like back to the match, Joe Coffey, he gets the win. Like I said, I didn't know if I really wanted to see this match again. It would be good, but I'm like, to me, I don't see Joe Coffey being the champ. I just don't, at least not right now. I don't see it, because they're kind of heel. I'm like, I don't know. I think the next champ needs to be a baby face. But we see these two guys, they're standing there. They kind of have that show respect. Like, yeah, we beat the hell out of each other. I won the first time. You won tonight.
One piece, baby.
Yeah, they're like, how about we do this one more time? And then we hear the music, the best music, ever. My boy comes out, Ilya Dragunov. He looks at him.
Say what?
And he's like, you know what? Like, and you got to think about it. I mean, no offense to the A-Kid, but it's like these are the last 3 guys that gave Walter his toughest match, championship match, not counting Ciampa or anything.
These are the main event right here.
Yeah.
Let's say how it is. Let's call it. These are the 3 guys, like the 3 main eventers.
So
there was never a chance.
So they all, exactly, like you said, these are the main event guys, and they're like, you know what? Nobody really, one person won, one person lost. Like they're all, I would say, on an even plane. So it's like, who's the number 1 contender? Well, there's only one way to settle this, and to me, I would do this triple threat elimination. Now, you don't usually see that a lot. Normally, it's always one fall to a finish, whatever. Do elimination. Because that way, you have you go through a long, grueling match till finally one person gets pinned, but you have to continue because now there's 2 of you yet. So do elimination. That really proves who's the best because somebody could get
because it eliminates both.
Yeah, exactly. So do a triple threat elimination, and if they do that, then it proves somebody's listening to Rope Break. But that's what I would do. I'm excited for this. To me, I'm you already know who I'm picking, but it's got to be Dragunov, and he's got to win the whole thing.
Oh yeah, like it's good. Like you said, is the main thing is like, okay, that's why they gave Coffey the win, so he can actually be like, we're one piece, so we're cool with each other. But now we add this guy, and that actually makes it even more exciting. Now we know like all of this build up with Dragunov.
The only thing, I mean, that's how I would do it. Do triple threat, even if you don't do elimination, just do triple threat, whatever, to somehow get a number 1 contender. I'm scared that Walter's going to be there next week. All 3 of these guys are going to come out, and Sid Scala's going to be like, they said, Johnny Saint, fatal 4-way. Don't do that. Don't do a fatal 4-way. Don't be bullshit.
Like in NXT UK, it's more like a one-on-one. They understand more like, the old school mentality of wrestling. It needs to be, out of these 3 guys need to come out one, and they should be the number 1 contender. And like you said, because everything that they've done with Dragunov, it seems like it's going to be him. Because what is the only way that like he can go back to being the same Dragunov? he will have to come and conquer the enemy. You know, be the guy that like completely like hinged him. You know, that the guy that like took away like his sanity. You know, and then, so like it will have to be Dragunov. So maybe, or like they're gonna be too late. Like we did, you know, we realized that it should have been Dragunov all the way. But hey, you know, maybe, or I don't know. Rampage Brown, to me, like his stocks have actually lower. And Joe Coffey, like you said, I mean, he's good, but I don't know if he has the charisma. Dragunov has everything.
Yeah, I mean, to me, you can capitalize on these guys at some point. Rampage Brown, I think it's because he hasn't been there that long. Yeah. And like Joe Coffey, you know, we've seen him, and it's like, oh, this guy's a lot of momentum. NXT UK kind of shuts down. So, and then when it starts to maybe come back a little bit, it's like, oh, you know, speak out movement. Oh yeah, Joe Coffey did this. Ooh, you know, that kind of hurts him a little bit. But Dragunov was always that guy. You know, the matches that he's had, you know, since we've started covering, you know, wrestling here on Rope Break, you know, this guy has always been, you know, one of the guys that we've been a fan of. So to me, he still is like the hottest with the fans. I feel everybody's really behind this guy, and that's, I think, is the fans' choice too, would be Dragunov. So I'm looking forward to this though. And
are you listening, Neil? Yeah, we're rooting for you. Okay.
And like we said, NXT UK is definitely the best brand. They know how to present stuff. They know how to get you excited. Because see, this could have been that like after the match, Rampage Brown, you know, beat up Joe Coffey, and like that would have been AEW. But no, these guys come out. They stare each other down. They get you excited because now you're going to want to see next week. What's going to happen? Is it going to be a triple threat? Is it going to be a fatal 4-way? You know, like you said, a hook. There's so many hooks in this episode. So
and
this was great.
Like it's not trashing AEW, but it's the truth. So, you know, it's like if you can feel that we're trashing it, you know, you just know the truth is trashing it. But anyway, but like, because see, neither one of them touch each other. They're just looking at, you know,
Yeah, they actually, the two guys in the ring, like, they actually shook each other's hand, I think.
Yeah,
they kind of did, like, a show of respect.
Yeah, they're good. See, like, that's how you leave the hook, because it's like, oh, I cannot wait for them to beat each other. Mm-hmm. Rather than, I already, like, dragging up jump both of them, and then, no. No, the three of them is like, okay, we're going to do it, but later. It's going to take time. So all of you are going to be wanting to see this, rather than, I beat you up, so I throw you onto the stairs, so the 62-year-old man comes up, and then he wins. No, this is how you will finish a wrestling show. Why? Because then you want to keep seeing it. You want to come back and see next week. You cannot wait for the Thursday of next week. So that's how you finish a show, family. Thank you so very much for being with us. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, tomorrow, absolutely live, after the show is over, Smackdown. We're going to be covering everything, and including our thoughts of the 7 releases. Unfortunately, a lot of superstars lost their job yesterday, but like Paul said before we went on there, they have plenty of talent, all of them. Maybe not in the ring, but they have other talents, and, they can find job anywhere else. So, we're going to be mentioning all of our thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give the video a like so the video goes up in, the rankings, and where else, Paul?
And make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And there is only one thing that is left to say, and that is...